Unit 3 from the HMH curriculum. So in case you didn't get a chance to review with us or have fallen behind and you need some ideas to get you caught up, we went over this in class, this exact detailed item by item approach. So follow along. I am going to go rather quickly. You're welcome to pause this if you need to. So here we go. This is the lesson or the unit opener. And under the picture we have 4 other images. We looked at if you're working along in your book, I stopped and presented each of these images online, and then we continued downward and started to fill in this table. Now here under the notes section where yours says start typing, or in your book you've got a open column in a table. These are some ideas that students have thrown out. Now at this point we're just probing what we already know. We're pondering what might come, exploring our different ideas. So I'm not going to address whether or not these are correct or incorrect responses. At this point you're just filling in what you think at this point. So again, if you need to pause and look over the table, go ahead. We move down to the graph. We noticed a positive correlation as the line moves up, indicating higher lemming size. We get higher owl clutch size as well. So the advantage of being online is you can check your answers. In the book we found out that does and larger are the 2 selected answers. And that's all that there was in the unit opener. Really short, 5 items to fill in, so make sure you do that. Then we moved on to lesson 1 opener. We scroll down, look at the tabby cats, and had to predict what the parents might look like, and here are some ideas. Again, if you need to pause this to look at it in more detail, go ahead. And some ideas as to why that might be true. And again, only 2 questions, doesn't take long. You can work alone, you can discuss at a table or as a class. Then we're going to move on to the third thing that we did, and that is exploration 1, where we learn about Gregor Mendel. Now, Gregor Mendel you're going to find in any curriculum on genetics, the father of genetics. They have us take a look at this picture here. Notice some differences. Common difference everyone mentioned were that there were purple and white flowers. Then we looked at individual crosses. Now, if you're online, you have to click the arrow to expand so you can see the parents and the 2 filial generations. I do want to explain this really quick in case you weren't in class. So this X indicates a cross. So there's a cross between a purple and white flower. And those are the parent generation, which produces the F1 or first filial generation, what they call the first generation. They're all purple. And then the second generation, you can think of them as the grandkids of the original parents, where we got 3 purple to 1 white in each of the crosses. That is the F2 or second generation. Okay, so just pointing out the first group are the parents, and then the first generation is actually the first generation of offspring, and then the second generation is the second generation of offspring. The items that are correct online are A and C. For those of you in the book, you don't really have a prompt to go by. You got to come up with your own, but you're welcome to use these sentences to generate an explanation. As we scroll down further and get to the second part of the exploration, there are 2 questions asking about whether or not you understand dominant and recessive and Mendel's basic crosses. Here are some responses from the group, and if you need to pause and look at them longer, feel free to do that. And that's as far as we got as a class of review. We've moved on to exploration 2 and in the other labs, and soon to be 3. But if you need to get caught up with us, go ahead and use this video to get caught up.